What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Aaron, Christatic AJ, as always. Welcome back to the channel. In case you're new here, welcome. And in case you're not new, welcome back. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. If you do not know who Skillet is, they are a Christian rock band that's been around since the 90s, believe it or not. And they've had multiple albums, multiple tours. They're just probably the biggest Christian rock band in the world. And we're going to get right into this. Coming in at number 12 is Ardent Worship. Now, Skillet's Ardent Worship album, I think, came directly after their debut album. And it literally was just a worship album. It's kind of crazy. Like, you hear the first album and you're like, oh, they're a rock band through and through. They do rock music. This is cool. And then this comes out and you're like, oh, but they're like worshipers too?
What?
Like, you literally got John Cooper doing like a 90s Christian live album. This is a live album too, so this was a live performance. And I'm like, this thing is wild, man. Like, this singing songs I sing in Vacation Bible School, but they're a rock band doing it. It's a weird mix that happens, but I think I like it because it does bring a new element and show a new element of John's voice as well. And the songs are really good. I mean, they're not bad. They melded the genres very well, but in terms of what their bag is, it definitely isn't their bag, and so it comes in last for me. At number 11, we have Skillet, self-titled.
Looking on the sad times, the guilt and all the shame, I have learned to submit my existing hurts and pains. All the grief I have learned to set aside, 'cause I am.
The Skillet's self-titled album is their debut album, and this is the one I hadn't listened to until like last year, because it was, again, so far back. I didn't really know who they were until, Hero and Monster were the big songs that I kind of entered their sphere on, like most people. So Skillet, I didn't know this album existed, but when I heard it, I was like, whoa, it's giving Kurt Cobain, it's giving Nirvana, it's giving 90s angst, but from a Christian lens and Christian perspective. I hadn't realized I wanted that until I listened and was like, yeah, this is that sauce. But what I like about it is that it feels very grunge. It feels very raw. It feels like someone just got in the booth, started singing and playing stuff, and it's not very polished, but in a way that makes it feel very like lived in. And so I think it's pretty good to be a first album too. It was fairly they had a fairly direct vision for it, so I liked it. At number 10, Alien Youth.
We're taking over the world. We're the alien youth. We're gonna burn us out. We're gonna.
This, I think, is their third studio album, and this one is the oddball of the bunch. I think they called it Alien Youth very apropos, because it definitely feels alien from the rest of the bunch. It feels like they took a pivot somewhere in the style of music. The style of these songs, like, they don't hit. They're not like, hard rock. They're not soft rock either. They're kind of like alternative rock songs. And outside the title track, I mean, none of them are really truly memorable to me. Now, again, I may have been missing something if there are any true Skillet fans who were like, Alien Youth is like that album, you need to be ashamed of yourself. I might need to do a re-listen, but as far as I can tell, it's better than the other two, but not their strongest work either. At number 9, Hey You, I Love Your Soul. This one has a lot of character. I would recommend this album for anybody who wants to kind of hear John, the lead singer, kind of want to hear him in his like transition from like just Kurt Cobain Nirvana rock to a more polished Skillet sound. I think it happens. I think that happens during this album. And again, it's like, I think what Ardent Worship tried to be, no, it didn't try to be this. It's what I want Ardent Worship to be. I want it to be, you were worshiping through lyrics and through some moments, but the rock element is still very much intact. Whereas Ardent Worship was literally just a worship album that had a rock band playing the worship songs, this was a rock sound with a worship element to it. I think this album had a lot of the longing that Christians have for Christ, a lot of the longing that Christ has for his people in the songs. The title track even, I think, is giving that, like, speaking from God's perspective to my knowledge. And I just like this project. I think it's a very nice project. I think it's stronger than the other few, for sure. At number 8, Invincible. This one might be the most slept on. I mean, Skillet Subtitle is probably contending for most slept on album, but I really liked Invincible. This one, I think after Alien Youth, where they kind of did a pivot, this one to me brought them back to that original rock sound that showed up on the self-titled album. And from here, I think things kind of started to spring forward. I think it was this album where they kind of started to solidify their sound as a group, and everything just felt more streamlined. It felt stronger. They felt more like a full project. And I think that The Fire Breathes is just the greatest song to have come out of this album. It's just the greatest song to have come out of this era of them. I really like it. It has this energy to it, no pun intended, that just really sucks you in, and it's produced so differently from the other ones. Like, the flow of it is very different, the structure wise, and yeah, that song puts this album over the others for me by itself. The fire breathes. 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 At number 7, Rise. Crawling in the dark, nothing to wet my longing lips, and I wonder where you are. Are you far? Will you come to my rescue? Am I left to die? But I can't give up on you. For some people, this might sound like heretical, but I do think that Rise has stronger videos than it has songs. And there's probably like 2 or 3 songs that really hit for me from that album. The album as a project as a whole is incredible. There's a reason Rise gets played and you know, replayed and shows up a lot. Not Gonna Die is just one of those songs, you know, it's one of those songs. But I definitely think that, you know, Salvation is probably the other one I would say like is a standout. And it's probably one more that I really liked. I think Sick of It's on this album. If not, don't quote me on that. But I think it's stronger as a project than it is. Actually, no, I think there's certain individual songs that are stronger than the project as a whole. And that's saying something, because this project is pretty strong. Like, at this point, they've already solidified their sound, and they're just kind of moving into different territory with it. And I think it's a very, very fun album. When I say fun, I say that loosely because they kind of delve into some deeper topics on this album. It's not exactly fun, but from a like soundscape standpoint, it has some fun stuff going on production-wise. At number 6, Dominion. this point, at the time of this recording, this is their newest album. They have had singles come out, and I think a new album is about to drop. But this is their newest project to date, latest project to date. And this one, I liked when it came out. I initially didn't take to it. It felt like a little more poppy, and there weren't a lot of songs that I took to initially. But upon listen and re-listen, I was like, ooh, there are a few on here. Standing in the Storm is probably my favorite. Dominion, obviously, so the title track was crazy. And I think there were a few others that just I survived in the game. Like there were some songs on here that like once you re-listen to them, you're like, ooh, these hit from a lyrical standpoint, and like you can marinate on some of these songs. There's a maturity to this album that I really like, and so I definitely think it's one of the better ones. It's one of the ones that I tend to go back to when I want to listen to Skillet myself. At number 5, Victorious. Victorious to me was kind of like a comeback album to a degree. I don't know. I felt like the break they had between the previous album and this one, to me, felt kind of significant. And so when this one came out, it was everywhere for one. Like this at this point, Skillet was like still in the chart everywhere. Like WWE obviously had their stuff playing. The stuff was on radio. It was going everywhere. I saw it everywhere. And yeah, I think that this one kind of went back to, again, I love the hard rock. That's just who I am. And so this one had more of a hard rock feel throughout the entire project. And I mean, I think this is the album that had Save Me. That to me is still to this day one of my favorite Skillet songs. It is such a powerful song, such a hard-hitting plea. I love it. I love that song. So Save Me, I think, puts this thing like tiers above the others by itself. But no, this whole project was just a moment, and I loved it for it. At number 4, Unleashed. This one was another moment for me. I feel like when this one came out, again, it had all the hard rock elements that I've been wanting, but it also had some songs that kind of brought me back to Ardent worship in a way, or even Hey You I Love Your Soul with some of those like rock ballads, some of those kind of softer rock songs. Like Stars is, that song went everywhere. Like if you look up Skillet Stars, there's like 3 or 4 videos for it, and it's like, one of the biggest songs to this day. But songs like that showed up on this album, where it's like you have, the Back from the Dead Tonights, you have, your hard hitters, but you also have like songs like Stars that kind of like calm you or ease you. This one was also a moment. I do put it over Victorious, only because Save Me was like the biggest song to me that I really loved from Victorious. Was Unleashed has like a few, like to this day, I Want to Live is like a battle cry for me, and that came from Unleashed. So Unleashed is just that album. It's just it does it for me. At number 3, Comatose.
I'll never wake up down and overdose.
Y'all, if you're a Skillet fan, you already know Comatose was that album, man. It had almost all of their hits, all of the greatest hits come from this album. Comatose subtitle track, Rebirthing, that thing went everywhere. The Last Night, okay? Yours to Hold, which to me is still one of the, greatest stories that they've told in their songs. Like, the storytelling on that one was amazing. When I first heard it, I was like, whoa, what is this? Falling Inside the Black, which has a crazy guitar solo. Those Nights, Like this one had some hits, guys. So, it currently resides at number 3. It's in the top 3 because this one is the one that if I was recommending any Skillet album to anybody, this is the one I'm like, cop this immediately. Like, find the other ones, but cop this one immediately. At number 2, Collide. Yeah, I didn't forget Collide. For those real Skillet fans watching, I didn't forget Collide. It's number 2. Now, for those who like don't really know Skillet and are like, why is Collide over like Unleashed and Victorious? Like, what is this? This to me, I think, is probably their strongest project, and that is saying something because they have a lot of strong projects. But this one, I believe, was their 4th. It came after Alien Youth, and this is the one where they started to gain some mainstream appeal. This is the one where they solidified their sound. It was this one where the hard rock sound really found its place, and it's in the same era where like a lot of those really powerful like rock songs were getting created, and so that era of music is just so nostalgic to me. And because that sound was the sound of the era, all these songs take me there. Like, Energy is one of my favorites. It has a sound that gives Linkin Park. It's so good. Savior, that video went crazy, but the song, again, that's when I got into the storytelling back. I feel like John's voice over that. I think his testimony, I believe, was in Savior. And just a few others. I'm like, the album may not be the strongest, in terms of like individual songs. All the songs don't hit, but as a project, like this thing felt like we've got it. We've got it. And from there they just kind of took off. So I really appreciate this one, and I probably play the songs off this album the most as of recently. As of late, I've played these the most, and I love it. And at number 1, y'all knew was gonna happen. Awake. Comes in at number 1. This is just the breakout one. This is the one where they solidified mainstream appeal. This is the one where they really got big, and from here, like, they went to the stratosphere. Like, everything up to this point was kind of like, we're coming. Awake happened, and now we're here. Like this is the one. I mean, Hero, Monster, like those two alone make this number 1. Like if those show up on any other album, that might have to take it, but they showed up here. And yeah, Waking Alive. Like these songs, I feel like most bands today can reference, mainstream or Christian, because they're just strong songs, strong records. And this project, I think, was definitely not just a moment for them, but the moment for them, where everything changed and everything started to really pop off, and where their sound really became their sound. I mean, I can go listen to this front to back and just be like, this is built different. Awake was built different. So yeah, that's my list. If you agree with it, let me know. If you don't agree with it, how would you have ordered it? I want to know. I'm curious, because I feel like for me, this is, how I listen, how I understand them to be in tiers. But you may have different opinions. This is only one opinion, so I'm open for others. But again, reminder, I'm trying to get the 1K subscribers by the end of the year. So if you want to, click a button, click the subscribe button, I would totally appreciate that. If you like the video, comment, I appreciate all those as well. And I want to know if you like the rank series. If you want to see another thing I rank, if you want to see another kind of topic ranked by me, let me know. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. And until next time, Jesus loves you. Peace. and deuces.
A hero's not afraid to give his life. A hero's gonna save me just